Hi, I'm Chip, and today I have a service technician horror story I want to tell y'all. I'm telling you, I don't know how this guy didn't burn his house down. Let's go up to the studio and I'll tell y'all all about it. So this do-it-yourself kind of guy, he comes to me and he wants a thermal fuse. I say, well, what's wrong with your old one? He said, well, it's gone out. And I diplomatically kind of felt him out about whether he knew how to use a multimeter or not. Of course, he said his daddy used to work on these things and he knew what he was doing. And so I sold him a thermal fuse. And a day later, he comes back, he wants another one. I messed that one up and I need another one. I said, well, okay. So I sold him another one. So 2 days went by and the guy showed up again and I said, well, do you have the old one? He said, no, it's blown. So I sold him another one. So that was 3 thermal fuses. So about 3 days later, he comes back, he's got a dryer in the back of his truck. And I'm thinking, well, he's given up and he wants me to fix it now. Well, he almost just threw the thing out of the back of his truck. He said, look, do you have a dryer for sale? And I said, sure, I keep a lot of dryers. I said, they're right under here in the garage if you want to look at it and pick one out. And he did, and I said, well, what do you want to do with that one there? And he said, you can have this dang thing. I don't want it. He said, there's gremlins in it. There's something wrong with it. He keeps blowing thermal fuses. I've checked everything. And I kind of asked him, I said, well, do you think maybe the element is shorted out? No, I've checked all that stuff. And he was getting irritated with me, so I let it go. I asked him, if he wanted anything for the dryer. He said, no, I just want to get rid of it. So I unloaded it, helped him unload it, and we loaded another one back up. And he left and I had some other work to do. So the next day I pulled it into the shop and I opened it up, and the first thing I noticed was this discoloration on the shroud. And I said, well, that thing got really hot. So anyway, I kept looking around and this is what I found.
Mission failure.
Now the guy had I guess he had got tired of these thermal fuses blowing, so he had taken this female with 2 male spade connectors on it and just stuck it on that thermal fuse and bypassed it. That's what he did. Well, the thermal fuse he did this on was no good. It had blown out anyway. So I took the element out, and sure enough, just like I thought, it had warp at the top of it and fused to the frame. So it was shorted out, and it was shorted out in the correct spot to ignite all the coils on one side of that element. So all of those coils were constantly being heated as long as that timer was on. Didn't matter if the drum was rolling or the fan was on, those coils were heating as long as that timer was on. Well, the guy, when we unloaded, he said, the last time I used it, it just smoked like crazy. And I can imagine why. And when I examined it, the wires that were connected to the thermal fuse had gotten so hot, they had melted and charred a little bit. So anyway, I cleaned up that mess behind there. I took that old element out. I replaced it with another one. And when I was looking at it, I've never seen one of those element shrouds so discolored on the back side of it. It had gotten really hot, almost like the burner on the stove. And there's about a 1/4 inch gap between that shroud and the back side of the inside of the dryer drum. And I walked around to the other side of it and I opened the door, and this is what I saw. I was flabbergasted. I can't imagine if the guy had a load of towels or well, any laundry in there, and they had come in contact with that thing, he would have burned his house down. I've never seen anything like that before. Never. I haven't been doing this that long, but that's the first time I've ever seen a dryer get so hot it burnt the paint off the inside of the drum. Anyway, I wiped all that down and kind of sanded it off and painted it, because I'm sure I couldn't sell it. If somebody opened that and saw that big burnt spot on it, I sure couldn't have sold it that way. They'd have been scared to death of it. But I undid everything that he had done and I got it fixed up, painted it. It turned out to be a very good dryer. The only thing wrong with that dryer was the element had shorted out, but he knew what he was doing, and every time I suggested something, he'd get irritated at me, so I kind of let it go. But I am absolutely astounded that this fella did not burn his house down or cause some very bad damage to it. Anyway, if you want to know about the diagnosing a dryer that does have an element that's shorted to the frame, why don't you check out this video, and I'll see y'all on the next one.